this morning from neighboring Lebanon.
We are now inside Syria. We just crossed the border, and you can see there are no controls anymore. The government is gone. There are rebels, gunmen on the street. The regime has collapsed, and you notice that the second you enter this country.
The mood is celebratory and welcoming. People are proud of this new dawn, and still in disbelief that Assad is really gone. As we drove to the capital, we passed boys on an abandoned government tank cheering Hurriya, Arabic for freedom. In the end, it was the army that sealed Assad's fate. Soldiers refused to fight. They faded away and ran as the rebels, led by Islamists, rolled into Damascus unopposed. The rebels' leader, once an al-Qaeda supporter and considered a terrorist by the U.S., is promising moderation and to work for all Syrians. He has ordered his forces to prevent looting and leave civilians unharmed. And so far, they appear to be doing that. The rebels' first priority appears to be breaking into Syrian prisons to free thousands of political prisoners kept in horrific conditions of torture and deprivation. Syrians are rummaging through Assad's empty palaces and seeing his lost life of privilege. A video claims to show Assad's fleet of luxury vehicles, sports cars, SUVs, and exotic collectibles. He won't be needing them in Russia. The Russian Foreign Ministry confirmed Assad and his family arrived in Moscow, given asylum for humanitarian reasons. Syria now has a new hope, new possibilities, and significant challenges as the map of the Middle East is being redrawn by the hour.
There is tremendous optimism here. Every single person that I've spoken to, young and old, men and women, young people, they all say that this is the start of a new beginning, a beginning that they hope will be free, open, multicultural, multi-ethnic. They say they want a different kind of Syria, not one that is reminiscent of the past, not a dictatorship, not extremism. Let's see if they can get that. But today, they are very hopeful.
Historic day, Richard. Thank you very much.
Let's turn now to an NBC News exclusive. President-elect Trump sitting down with Meet the Press moderator Kristen Welker for a wide-ranging conversation. It's his first broadcast interview since winning back the White House. Kristen joins us now. Good morning, Kristen.
Hoda, good morning to you. In our interview, President-elect Trump laid out a sweeping agenda for the next 4 years and his first 100 days in office. He said he wants to focus on the economy, the border, and getting his nominees confirmed. Have you thought about your message? We began our conversation with President-elect Trump on the economy and his threat to impose tariffs on America's three biggest trading partners, Mexico, Canada, and China, which experts warn could lead to a surge in prices. Can you guarantee American families won't pay more?
I can't guarantee anything. I can't guarantee tomorrow. I'm a big believer in tariffs. I think tariffs are the most beautiful word. I think they're beautiful. It's going to make us rich.
The president-elect is standing by one of his key campaign promises, saying he has no choice but to deport everyone who is illegally in the United States. You've talked about prioritizing people who have criminal histories.
Correct.
But is it your plan to deport everyone who is here illegally over the next 4 years?
Well, I think you have to do it. And it's a very tough thing to do. But you have to have, you have rules, regulations, laws. They came in illegally.
The president-elect also vowed to end birthright citizenship, a right that's guaranteed by the 14th Amendment.
We're going to end that because it's ridiculous.
Mr. Trump did say he's open to finding a way to protect dreamers, those brought illegally to the U.S. as children and raised here.
I think we can work with the Democrats and work something out.
Asked about members of the January 6th committee, the president-elect argued they should be imprisoned without any evidence that they violated the law.
Honestly, they should go to jail.
So you think Liz Cheney should go to jail?
For what they did.
Everyone on the committee, you
I think everybody anybody that voted in favor.
Are you going to direct your FBI director and your attorney general to send them to jail?
No, not at all. I think that they'll have to look at that, but I'm going to focus on drill, baby, drill.
In a statement, Liz Cheney, the Republican vice chair of the January 6th committee, denounced Mr. Trump's threat as a, quote, assault on the rule of law and the foundations of our republic. The president also said he is looking to pardon people convicted for their actions on January 6th.
Kristen, it was a long and wide-ranging interview. You also asked him about RFK Jr., his choice for the Department of Health and Human Services. What did he have to say?
Well, Savannah, this was a really striking part of the conversation. President-elect Trump suggested Robert F. Kennedy Jr. will investigate the debunked claim that there's a link between autism and childhood vaccines. It's a theory that has been discredited in scientific studies going back some 25 years now. Mr. Trump did also say he's not against vaccines broadly. Savannah, it's worth noting childhood vaccines prevent about 4 million deaths worldwide each year, according to studies. Savannah.
Kristen, thank you very much.
All right, also this morning, the manhunt is widening for the gunman who murdered the CEO of the nation's largest health insurance company on a New York City sidewalk. Police releasing new images of the person of interest over the weekend. The search now entering its 6th day. NBC's Sam Brock joins us. He's got the latest. Hey, Sam, good morning.
Hunter, good morning. Those 2 new photos are added to a growing list of visuals that the NYPD has now released to the public to try to find the person responsible for killing Brian Thompson, who they now believe has slipped Hoda out of the city. Right now, police are still searching for the gunman's bike and firearm, but the recovery of a backpack could pave the way for critical clues. With a quickly expanding manhunt still underway this morning,
the net is tightening, and we're going to bring this person to justice.
Police have now released 2 new photos of a person of interest wanted for questioning in the Midtown murder of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. One shows a man wearing a black hooded jacket and surgical mask in the back seat of a taxi. The other, that man on the sidewalk, through the car window. Police say they're from the same taxi he took to the George Washington Bridge bus terminal shortly after the murder, where the NYPD says it has video of the man entering the bus center Wednesday morning, but not leaving.
We also have reason to believe that the person in question has left New York City.
Investigators combing Central Park over the weekend, with NYPD's elite scuba dive team scouring the lake, according to 2 law enforcement sources, for the firearm used in the murder. After a gray backpack was recovered in the park Friday that police believe belonged to the gunman. 3 sources say a jacket was found inside, though it's unclear if it's the same one worn by the shooter, and 2 sources say investigators also found Monopoly money.
You look at it and you're like, was some purpose of that? What, like, why Monopoly money?
Detectives say DNA evidence is still being processed. As for the potential that the shooter took a bus out of town, the NYPD says they don't know which one he might have boarded. Some of the many destinations listed on the Port Authority's website include Boston, Buffalo, Binghamton, Philadelphia, and Washington, D.C. In the wake of the murder, backlash against the insurance industry.
I don't think anyone should feel bad about this.
From a shooter look-alike contest in New York City to critical comments online, as United Healthcare headquarters in Minnesota is now surrounded by temporary